back, and you're probably wondering why I've got you facing my table. I'm making some little bits and bobs to go with ephemera that I'm hoping to use within my tarot journal. But I want to make pockets that I can put cards in, but I want them textured. So I'm going to try to create different papers with different textures through using napkins, tissue paper, etc. Now, I want it to look sort of crinkled and wrinkled. So there's my tissue paper all wrinkled. It just gives it more texture. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix up some craft glue. This is PVA craft glue, but I bought the clear one, okay? Now you can use the white one because the white one dries clear as well, but this is just, it's just the one that I picked up. I'm going to mix up some PVA glue. I'm going to mix it with some water. Just to thin it out. I'm going to coat this with some of this. And the area that I'm coating is going to be the area that the tissue paper is going to sit on. Okay. Try and make sure your glue is not pooling anywhere. So this is just onto a piece of plastic. And I'm going to get this and pop it onto the area that I have glued. I'm going to push it down so it all sticks, and any creases, I'm just going to take them out, any folds I should say, because there's loads of creases. So you can see where it's touching, those folds are fine. Don't mind having those folds there, those particular ones. Now I'm going to straighten it out. Oh, a little tear there. Well, that doesn't matter because that will add to the character, but also you're going to be cutting this paper up, don't forget. So now you get your glue, and don't pull the page, because if you pull it, tissue paper will tear. So gently put your glue on, okay? Your glue and water mix. Now you could assist it to dry using either a heat gun or a hairdryer. I'd recommend hairdryer over heat gun because this is on plastic and it would melt. So you can do that, but I prefer to let it dry by itself. So I'll come back to this in a couple of hours. Now this piece of paper here, with tissue paper, you can always see if you've left anywhere untouched, because it has that sort of paler look about it. It goes very glossy looking. So any part that looks dry, just fill it in. And that now I'm going to leave to one side to dry. It doesn't matter about air pockets in this, just as long as you've got it absolutely soaking in your glue and water. So this one, I'm going to move it and place it somewhere where the dogs can't get it to dry. Oops, I've noticed a patch here, a dry patch. So double check it, because that, if you left it dry, it would end up being quite a weak patch when you see what I'm going to do with it. So this is like a faux rice paper. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that now. So just bear with me while I place this somewhere safe to dry. This is what I want. I want that design, okay? And again, it's sort of rice paper like. So with a napkin, we have those extra layers. And this will be super fine to work with. Having to blow on to separate them. Right, there are 3 layers. There are 2 white layers and then the layer with the pattern on. So you have to do it very, very gently or you will tear the layer that you want. So here we go. Now if you look on this layer, this is the second, that's our top layer with our pattern on. Then there's this layer and there's a slight imprint on the white layer of the design. Can you see it there? That is another piece that will come in handy to almost give like a watermark on a page, and I'll show you later on when I come to doing that. And then there's the plain white one here. So I'm going to fold this away because I will be using this again, but not today. So that's going to be kept safe there with my collection of papers. Now I'm going to have to work out, I think for this, I'm going to, let me see, how am I going to do this? So we're going to have to take the whole sheet. It is, isn't it? No, maybe not. Oh, if I put it that way. Yes. Yes, it is. I can turn to a slight angle and fit it onto the plastic here. So I need to coat the whole plastic. I'm going to do the whole thing, then I can cut up what I need when I go to use it. But it saves me cutting it up and potentially damaging it now. So I'm going to put that to one side, and once again I'm going to coat this plastic with my glue and water. Put it down gently. Move it up there. Whoops. Now this is where the danger occurs because we don't want to tear it. Woo. Fingers are really stuck to it there. Now I'll just mix up a little bit more. Touch the plastic all the way around whilst I'm mixing. You don't want big air bubbles because you do need the underneath touching the plastic, because you want the glue to go on both sides. You want to keep the design as much as possible. Now, the napkins, I will tell you now, are weaker than the tissue paper, and that's weak. So when mixing this, when adding this, you have to be super gentle and not drag your brush over the napkin because it will just tear. And unfortunately, I'm a bit ham-handed. So you have to very lightly, with just placing this on, try not to let your brush get dry, because if your brush gets dry it will attach itself to the napkin and tear. So although I've said don't drag your brush over, what I mean is press and drag. You have to lightly brush on the glue and the water. And once the section is soaking, it's easier to glide your brush gently across. But if your brush gets anyway dry, it'll stick to the napkin, like I said, and tear. And that is not what we want. Not at all. I keep pulling it here on the edge of the table. Oops. So taking a little bit of napkin there from the corner. That's not too bad. Pop it in the bin. That's the part where my nail went through earlier on. Right, not to do that anymore because I'm actually taking some of the pattern off on that one. That's okay, I can cut that away. So that too is going to be left to dry now. Now that may take a little while to dry, but we'll see. And then when it's dry, I'll come back to you and show you what it is that I'm aiming to do. Sorry, I've just noticed on looking back at the video that whilst working with this one here, the video stopped when I was about to cut it, and I've made the decision not to cut it but work with it as a whole piece. Now here, if you look there, you can see dots of purple, and that's come from this section here where the thinness of the tissue paper has worn through to the plastic. So when this does dry and I come to use it, that I will probably take that section off there, depending on how it looks. So that's that. I'm going to leave those to dry now, and hopefully you followed along, and hopefully this works. I will be back in a few hours once these are dried to show you what's next. So here I am back with the paper that we were making earlier on. Now remember, this is tissue paper, so I want to make it a little bit stronger, and I have used PVA glue with water. And this is why I put it onto plastic, because plastic just peels off away from PVA. So this can be folded over and used again for the next time I want to create something else. Now, this, here we go, the tissue paper is stronger, and it's much more like, it's like rice paper. And you know, you've got that added strength, because if you just pull tissue paper, it would just tear. Now, I did put a little hole through it there. But look at that with my nail, but look how the strength it's taken. So I can, here you go. So that's one sheet, and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing with them. This I'll fold away. Now, let's see how this one goes. I hope this one comes off, because this tissue, remember, is a lot thinner than this tissue paper. So this will be interesting to see if it peels off from the plastic as well as that one. Now, I think what I might have done here, oh, there we go, there's an edge, here we go. Now this has to be done a lot gentler, because this is really like thin. Starting to come loose. Wow, this is quite amazing. And again, another plastic sheet that we will put to one side for the next project. So what I'll do with this one, you see the edges are ragged because I actually brushed them very thin. So I'm just going to take my scissors, and like that, now see that? quite, if you look at how thin and terry it is, it's quite strong. So it makes it, it gives it the sort of texture of rice paper with a little added strength. It's almost like a skin. Yep, that's fine. So this is this sheet. That's what it's like now. It will tear, right? But not as much as it would if I was just using the one sheet of the napkin. So that's more like a skin. Now, what I like about this, these two somehow I can get them to work together with the colour combinations, but also I can use that if I want something rather opaque or something a little bit, not so much opaque, that is more opaque actually, it's not too transparent. But if I was to, say, put a card in a pocket, you know, you can see through there, and it makes it sort of semi-transparent, you know. So I will get crafting with these, and I will show you how they turn out, how I intend to use them. I'll get a bit of a scrunch up, make it a little bit more textured, and then out it comes, nice and crumply. There we go. I love it. Hello, you two. You're home then. See ya. Good morning. I have been quite busy this morning. I've come back to my table and I have created some little pockets for my tarot craft journal. I'll show you what I mean about it in a minute. It's not craft as such, but it's craft that I'm using to enhance my pictorial tarot journal. This is not one where I write copious notes. It's where I put in spreads, put in things that resonate with me, and something I'll share with you in a minute. So I was up nice and early and came in here and used the tissue paper that we created yesterday, the rice-like paper. So how have I used it? Many of you have already seen this journal of mine, and this, like I say, it's not the journal where I write all my notes. I have many of those. This is one that I like to keep decorative. I use tarot cards in it. I use all sorts of crafting in it. And you have seen this before, because this is a large section of this was taken up with the ancestral tarot. Yes, I might glue in the odd pages of notes, but that would be a rarity more than the norm. Okay, so this is the sort of thing you'll see in it. Now, where have I used my crafting today? Okay, let me show you. Today I have used the tissue paper that we created yesterday. I've created a lovely 3 sort of pocket, well actually it's 4 actually, 1, 2, no 3. It's got 3 pockets in it, and the topic is the major arcana that I resonate with. So what I have done, I've picked out the 4 cards that I feel I resonate with very strongly in the major arcana. The first one would be the Fool, and the reason I resonate with this is because of the amount of changes and starts I've had in my life, because of the amount of new beginnings and the hurdles that I've come across on my route to where I am today, and how I've overcome them with the help of the other aspects of the tarot. But there's been a few start outs, a few new paths, so that's why I relate to that. The High Priestess. Why the High Priestess? Because of my ability to rely on my intuition, my love for tarot and all things esoteric and mysticism, and the way I can really relate to my gut feeling, intuition, and how that helps me on my daily journey. Then down here, the Hermit. And why do I relate so well with the Hermit? Because I like me time. Particularly since retiring, I have become a hermit of sorts. I do my thing each day. I sort of don't run with the crowd. I just like being me, doing my thing. That doesn't mean I'm antisocial or anything. It just means that I enjoy my company my way. I enjoy learning. I enjoy inner peace. I also enjoy on occasion helping others and being a little bit of a light in their life. And then strength. Strength because I have had so many times where I've had to start again, and it's taken a lot of strength. It's taken a lot of determination. So what's in the pocket? This, if you recognise this, this is the napkin that we used, and the way we strengthened it has enabled it to become a really handy pocket that I've attached to this page. But what have I attached to this page and why? Well, my personality card and my soul card for my life are the Chariot and the Tower. And this, I actually related to these before I had actually learned my soul card and my personality card. And my soul and personality card is the Chariot because they both are the same number. My hidden card or my hidden teacher is the Tower. And that will explain why I've had these starts, why I've got the strength to face the changes that any situations has brought. But is the Tower card bad to have as a hidden card? No, it's not. It's mastery through change. Mastery through change, which really backs up why I relate to the cards that I have discussed here. So, what have I put in these pockets? First of all, on here, I've decorated it. We've got mastery through change, some lavender. We have a key, because sometimes the Tower moments, when they take away what no longer serves us, it hands us a blank sheet. It's like giving us a key to a new home, a new way to start, and we're morphing and changing like a butterfly. So, what do I have in here? First of all, I have the two cards that are my soul and personality card and my hidden teacher. Okay, how do you get your hidden teacher number? Basically, you your personality card, you take the number, mine's number 7, and you look at the majors, which card makes a 7. Well, 16 is the Tower, 6 plus 1 plus 6 is 7, so that is your hidden card. So what else do I have in here? I have the methods you use to finding out your soul and personality card, okay, and your hidden teacher. Yep, hidden factor, hidden teacher. What else do I have in here? I have this here, and here you'll see I've used the pink rice paper to create a pocket on a tag. Now, what do I have on here? Let me pop this down for a minute. In here, I have cards that explain even further. So, developing through change like a beautiful butterfly. Okay, and how else have I managed? Here, chat to your inner child. Your inner child's actually quite wise. I've got images here that are symbolic for me. I love art, and art has been both appreciating the art of others and being a little bit creative, although I wouldn't say wonderfully artistic. I just like to dabble. And so art has often helped me relax. It's been the key to relaxation. It's been the key to being able to express myself at times. Changing the way I think and feel has been the key that has opened any cages where I have felt trapped, or opened new doors to new buildings, new homes, etc., etc. What have I put on here to go with this? I have change, sometimes drastic, is what helps me grow, achieve more, master skills and talents, and accept change and all that it encompasses. Okay. Then in the pocket on the back, we have the beautiful butterfly, and this is developed through change like a beautiful butterfly. And here I've 2 more cards in here. And what I've put, the Chariot. Okay, the Chariot, remember, is my personality and soul card. And the Chariot, taking the reins of your life, mastering your skills and riding those winds of change, being determined to grow your way and not allowing others to stop you. And the Tower as my hidden factor or my hidden teacher. Change, a new foundation on which to build, ridding life of negativity and removing or teaching us what our mistakes bring. Mistakes, choices, what our choices bring. That change is the lesson. Changing, you know, the loss of your freedom, the loss of family and friends. And it's a wake-up call and a key to create change. Illness, how can that be change? Illness can make us see what we didn't appreciate when we were healthy. Illness can also be a change we need to make us open our eyes to the fact that we are burning out. We need to change something in our life in order to rid ourselves of illness. Also, illness can affect people in different ways. For me, it made me stronger of thought, of mind, of determination to rid myself of illness. And this is why I feel the amount of changes I've had in my life, I just feel that all these cards really do fit in. And again, more symbols here of the key. The key is very important to me. I do find that keys are extremely symbolic. I love flowers, gardening, growth, change, nurturing, nourishment, everything that fits in with this. So this is the result of the rice paper we made, and that's how I've used it in my creative tarot journal. As this progresses, I'll keep showing you what I've done, how I've done it. Not only is it something nice to look at, something nice and therapeutic to do, but it's also a great reference guide using keywords, using spreads, and informative, such as using sigils, using the tarot with your sigils, you know, enjoying the journey of life, to be quite honest with you, and adding what you want to add to it. It doesn't have to be done every day, just what you feel will benefit you in your journey in life. And there's another pocket that I made that holds a card here, and this card has information I've put on the back too, and that sits in that pocket just there. So that's that. Now this is going to have a struggle to close, but what the heck. If you want to know how to work out your soul number, your personality number, etc., the Tarot for Yourself with Mary K. Greer gives you a really good outline of that. I've also got examples of it on my videos when I did the Ancestry Tarot, and that was one of my favourite spreads, still is, the Whole Self Mandala. There you go. And that's the page I'm currently on, as you know. So, a work in progress, lots of pages to go, and a nice pocket at the front to keep any bits and bobs that I might use. So that's how what I did with the creative little bits of paper the other day, and all part of my tarot life. Take care, everyone, and if you do anything creative with tarot, or for yourself, or something that you just want to share that you do with your pastime, I'd love to see. Point me in the right direction to your videos. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.